Hey, what's up? So I talked about this before, and I did like a little video, whatever, about like how I don't feel like there's early and late, and how like even if people die like early or stuff happens in a way they don't think, that it's not wrong or it's not like out of place. It's just the timing within your life, within what happened with this person or that event or that thing had to be that way for you in your own journey, and how we all are kind of have that different timings for different things in our lives, and it kind of just reflects the journeys that we're on. Because if we were all on the same journey and everything was the exact same, then this would be a different story. But the fact that we all have different stories would make sense that stuff happens at different times, and maybe certain stuff happens for some people and it doesn't happen for others, or maybe it happens in a certain way for some people and a different way for others. And I think a lot of times we lose that perception. And for me, I one of my biggest struggles is comparison. And how do you compare like your experience, even if you're the same age or even if you're this, that, and the third, with someone who's has a different life than you and who's been in much different situation, who just in general, the opportunities in life, whether good or bad, are different. We all have different parents. We all have different, grow up in different areas. We all grow up in different, like with money, wherever stuff, grow up in different schools, grow up with different friends, grow up with different, whatever you have it, passions, interests. And so all this different stuff allows us to eat, is what makes us all so unique in the first place. You could live like however distance houses are from each other. You can live that far from someone and be polar opposites of them, even if you grow up and go to the same school and they're on the same friends and all that stuff, because the fact that different parents, different environments, different passions, all that kind of stuff just makes us who we are. So when it comes to timing of stuff, I feel like it's important, and maybe this is just for me to hear, is it's important to understand that stuff has to happen in a certain way for every person. It's not that, okay, I bring it up, whatever, because it's going to be something that I live with the rest of my life, but dad dying early, like, what does that mean? And there's something just deep internally, whatever, that I can't get over. The fact that I just do not feel like it was early. Or, yeah, early. I was thinking I said that the wrong way. But I just really don't. And it's a thing to where, like, sure, maybe maybe like other dads are still alive while mine's not. But I also feel like it happened in a way to where there was no other real way for it to happen, and then there was almost a peace. And that's why, like, for me, like, I have a bunch of peace with it. And you got to think, like, for most of the people that I know, or like even like my parents, I have parents like that, their parents are like live longer than my dad, which is weird. Like my dad's mom lived to like 90 something and he lived to 50 something. So there's a 30 something year old age gap, older than I am, for people that are literally in the same family, like a parent, like that kind of stuff. So timing all this stuff works differently, even with family, even with the people that these things are happening to, or it's so unpredictable and so whatever, that you can't really anticipate how it's going to happen and what it means and all this stuff. You kind of just got to live through it, experience it. And what I've learned is the more you try and fight it, the more you try to like, you're like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why do I lose this? Or why does this happen now? Why can't it happen in the future? This, that, and third. When you kind of like throw all that stuff, and big thing, pity, when you like rely on that kind of stuff, you're like, oh, da, da, all this stuff, you kind of are just making it worse for yourself. Like, you're ultimately just making it tougher. It's like trying to fight the tide. You're not going to win that battle that's coming. It's going to push you out no matter what you do. So the more you try to fight it, the more tired you're going to get. Then you're going to fucking sink and die. Like, it's, which honestly is not a bad like example, because you think about it, if you're trying to fight something or do whatever, ultimately, a lot of times people try to fight stuff or do stuff with vices, or they try to do stuff to try to mute that. The more you kind of do that, it kind of does kill you. So, but that was a little tangent. But I think the timing of stuff is perfect in a way that we can't quite understand until we die, maybe, or maybe not. But I think, because I see that sometimes you need stuff to happen in a way that you can't anticipate, or in a way that maybe it's not happening. Maybe it's not happening for people you've seen. Like, maybe stuff has to happen in a way that you can't quite understand, because you need to do things that you never could have if that didn't happen. Like for me, I think about like, because I can talk about the dad thing, by that ad nomina or whatever you call it, like whatever the thing is where you can talk about it forever. But also I've seen other stuff like with like relationship or love or all that stuff, and not just in terms of like rejection or whatever you have it. Like I was skinny, tiny kid. You're not gonna get any attention when you're that and you're shy. But I just think about opportunities. I think about like have there like looking back like opportunities to where like it could have been something in terms of like, okay, I felt something. There was someone I could have said something. I could have done something. And realistically, I look back and there's like one time, and then one time I felt it. I tried it and it didn't work out. So when I look at a lot of my life and I look at a lot of things, I don't know about y'all, but I think about opportunities. I don't think about like, oh, I don't have a girlfriend, or oh, I've experienced this, or oh, what, like moving or making money or stuff. I think about opportunities and think about, okay, if I feel at peace with what I've done and all the steps of my life, and feel like I've done everything the way that I would have done if I go back in time and redo it all over again, then okay, what are the opportunities? Has there been chances that I've overlooked or things that I could have done or whatever? And realistically, there's not any. So for me, it's the same way I feel about like losing my dad. Like I'm like, I feel peace about that. Like I was like, and it's why I don't feel like it was early, because I feel like we kind of had the best relationship we could have had, and it ended, and that's how it goes. You live and learn, and you have to grow from it, and you learn things from it, and it pushes you to do things and all that kind of stuff. It's really a cool thing, a cool process. Maybe tough, but yeah. So, but I think more so, I think a lot of times you got to pay attention to the whole when life gives you lemons thing, because if there's no opportunities happening in a certain aspect, there's probably a good shot that you can learn and grow ways for that to be ready in the first place. So when I think about a relationship, or I think about any stuff, I think about the fact that I'm not quite ready for it. And it's one of those deals where you can say it, and sometimes you can say stuff, but you don't really feel it. You don't really mean it. You're kind of just saying it just to try to make yourself feel better. But genuinely, like, I feel it. And it's kind of the same way I feel about, like, my dad dying happened for a reason. And it's one of those deals where I just know I have no control. And so I'm fine with that. And knowing that I have no control and being fine with that has felt like an excuse for life to get really tough, because the more you actually believe that, the tougher life can be, and the more you can go through it, because you just believe whatever. Like when I was younger and I had pushing anxiety and stuff like that and was trying to control everything, life was much easier, but it felt much more like complex and much or whatever, because of the fact that I was trying to hold on. But the second you let go and you see that, like, oh, you know, it's fine. It's like letting go, like Jesus take the wheel and the car's driving perfectly fine. You're like, oh, I didn't really need to be trying to be this control freak the entire time. I could have just let go and could have just taken it one step at a time. Could have just gone along for the ride. And so like when I think about like, okay, everything's happened and all this stuff, I'm like, why the hell should I sweat about this, or be like, oh, woe was me for this thing happening, or like worried about this, that, and third, when, okay, I did everything I felt was right. I had peace with it. Whatever happens, happens. And truth be told, like, I don't care if this happens at a different time. I don't care. I think I'm blessed to have lost my dad. I think I'm lucky to be in the spot I am in certain areas. And so, like, why not just relish in what that you have? Because whatever life you have this second, it disappears, and then you're on to the next second, and you're on to the next second. And suddenly time flies by, years fly by, and you're no longer that age or in that spot in life or at that place or around these people or whatever. So I think it's better to just let go and kind of like be okay with whatever happens, and not trying to make your life like everyone else. Because truth be told, I think the best lives and the best journeys are the ones that are not like everyone else. It's the ones that that make you scared, that you have to take a leap of faith and do all that stuff. And I feel like that comes with letting go and being okay, and not being like, oh, this has to happen like this or that and that. Like being like, okay, I don't need to be in control. I'm fine with whatever happens, and I'm honestly down for whatever. And yeah, it's one of those easier said than done things, because myself, it took me losing my dad, and if that never happened, I probably wouldn't have this perspective in the first place. But I just want to try to echo that stuff doesn't have to, just because stuff isn't happening like everyone else, or just because it's not matched certain times, or oh, like this happened, whereas with people, you know, this happened or whatever. Like just because all that, it does not matter. All you got to do is just live your life and let go, and just understand it'll all work out. And maybe working out doesn't mean it's easy, or doesn't mean it's going to be fun at times. Like, sure, it might be tough, it might be tricky, it might be unpredictable, it might be scary, but there's a power to that, and there's importance to that. And sometimes you need to be in these spots in order to push you to do certain things, or to like meet certain people, or be in certain opportunities. So just kind of enjoy it, like kind of like take advantage of that, because you never know how much you could do, or what you could be, and where you could go. Like, you just don't know. So yeah, don't fight the tide, and yeah, just let it go. And just because it's not happening the way everyone else does, it doesn't mean it's wrong. Maybe it means it's better. But yeah, I don't know if this helps anyone. I just felt like talking about it. So have a nice day. Love y'all. Subscribe, like, peace.